Hi guys, Alex here from Studio Leicester, and if you're anything like me, before you bought your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K, you were scrolling through the internet looking at YouTube videos and reading forums all about different setups and rigs that people have been using to create a setup that works for them and their workflow. The setup that I've created is a run and gun one, and that's the one that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. I use this style because getting choppy footage doesn't really matter to me at times, because I like to bang in some Super 8 or 16mm effects to give it that kind of vintage look. Although it is worth mentioning that when I bought all this kit, I did also buy some handles and a shoulder mount, which sometimes I use if I want more stabilized footage. But today we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the run and gun setup that I've created using a mixture of SmallRig and Tilta products to complement my shooting style and the way that I like to work with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. So to start with, I want to discuss this thing here. This is the battery grip by Tilta. It's a fantastic piece of kit. I got mine second hand on eBay for £299. That's British pounds. And as you can see here, I've got a Samsung T5 loaded in there. This is the 2TB model. And the reason I didn't take it out is because I have this screw that attaches into it that keeps it in place, and I actually tighten that using mole grips because I wanted that to be as secure as possible. There's no way I wanted to lose this or have it slip out during a shoot. I'm not sure that it would anyway, but I just went that extra mile to make sure that it definitely couldn't happen. So this is where my setup begins. So yeah, this is the Tilta battery grip. It's got this lovely grip here that kind of hugs your hand, and you can tighten this strap up so you can really feel nice and stable whilst you're shooting. But it also came, well mine did at least, with this top handle as well, and that's super easy to fit. Literally just slots in, and then you tighten down the screw and you're ready to roll. This is probably how I like to hold my camera most of the time, kind of from the top down, so you can get some nice tilting shots and some nice kind of sweeping pans as well. So yeah, this £299 all in. Okay, before I start putting the camera into the cage, there is something that I need to talk about first, and that's the power cable that runs from the camera itself into this cage. It costs £23 on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. And rather than trying to put the camera in and then fit the cable, what I like to do is fit the cable to the camera first. This is the cable itself. I mean, £23 for this thing, bit of a rip-off, right? But it has a little notch on the side, and that simply, you can see that I've taken the side off my camera permanently, as a lot of people have done, and that just fits into there nice and fail, and that just fits into there nice and snug, nice and tight. So that's not coming out now. And now that's ready, I can start putting the camera into the cage. So to do that, I'm going to put the camera in through the back of the cage, and then I'm going to leave it there at an angle, and then feed through the wire, pop the camera into place. So now that the camera's in the cage, I just need to secure it by putting a bolt through this recessed hole at the top and another one through the bottom. Okay, now that's done. I'm sure the eagle-eyed of you out there managed to see that I had to take my handle off to put the top bolt in, but I also say that the handle comes straight in and out, so that's no bother, and I'm going to put the handle back in now. Okay, so there you can see kind of the basic setup, and putting that power cable in early has allowed me to save myself the time of trying to fit it in through this, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's really fiddly. So putting that in has saved me a lot of time and a lot of hassle, and we're ready now to start assembling the next part of the rig, which is the base plate. Okay, so this is the base plate that I use with my run and gun rig. It's a standard base plate from Tilta. It's got these cool locking mechanisms on, as well as these tightening screws. This was £119 on Amazon, and again, I'll link to that in the description box below. Before I attach this to the cage, I'm going to attach two rods, two 30cm 12-inch rods that I bought again through Amazon, the SmallRig rods, because if I attach this to the cage first, these little tightening knobs are going to hit the bottom of the cage in the camera and make it really difficult to tighten whilst it's in situ. So I'm going to go ahead now and fit those rods. So whilst I'm fitting these rods, I'm going to mention that I know a lot of people like to mount their battery packs on the back of the rig, but for me, because I've got that battery grip, I can actually have these rods kind of poking out by 1 inch tops out of the back of the base plate, which means that I've got more room for accessories on the front, which, as you'll see in a minute, I have a few of. So it's definitely worth noting that if you want some accessories at the front like I've got, you're going to want to make sure that you either buy longer rods if you want to mount your battery at the back, or you do what I do and you buy the battery grip and you have your rods kind of poking out of the back by 1 inch tops. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to fit the base plate onto the rig itself. That just slides into place like that, and then there's like this locking mechanism at the front which makes sure it's nice and tight. So as you can see there, there we go, that's the shot. That's my rig there. It's kind of coming together now, but we've still got a few more accessories that we need to add, and the next one is a lens support. This is a cool accessory that, again, I got on Amazon. This is SmallRig. It cost me £13 in total, and because I'm using a lens with, it's not even that long a focal length, but it is quite a long length in terms of size. This is just a 16-35, but if you look at it there, that is quite lengthy, and to stop things like vibration and wobble and stuff like that, I like to have this lens support mounted onto my rig. So they just simply slide onto the poles that I've already inserted. It goes underneath the smooth part of the lens, so it's not interfering with the zoom or the focus, and then once it's in situ, it's just a case of screwing on these tiny knobs, and you know, that takes, I don't know, what's that taken me? 10-15 seconds of rambling to get that sorted. So there you go, the lens support now in place. Another thing that I've bought for my setup, and is something that a lot of people have on their Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera rigs, is a follow focus system. Now, the one that I've got it's the Nucleus Nano. I mean, just look how smooth that is. Ooh, tasty. This thing does need batteries though, which is annoying, because as anyone who's seen my videos up until this point will know, I don't like charging stuff. It's the reason why I don't take gimbals with me anymore on shoots. Instead, I use a fly cam. So having another thing to charge is a bit of a nuisance and a bit of a bugbear, but the fact that this thing works so seamlessly with this rig and is kind of seen as an essential tool rather than a luxury, I'm willing to forgive it. So again, this is the Nucleus Nano. This costs £249 and it fits just here on the side of my rig. Again, it's got a simple lock on it, so that just slides down into place there and then locks, and that's that fitted. So there you go. This, as you can see, the rig's starting to come together quite nicely now. But with the follow focus wheel now fixed, we need to make sure that we've got the actual mechanical device at the front that turns the focus mounted to the front as well. So that just fits there. It screws on, dead simple, and then connects to the battery grip through a simple micro USB cable, which connects from the camera through the battery grip and then into the front of the rig here. And as is the case with all follow focus systems, we need to attach one of these things onto the front of the camera. So we're just going to move that out the way slightly. So this is all really starting to come together nicely now. So we've got the follow focus, the battery grip, the rods, the lens support all in situ. I'm just going to connect as well the micro USB from the follow focus to the camera itself. Okay, so we've got the battery grip, as you can see, we've got the camera in situ. This is the power cable that we fitted earlier. That's just going to go straight under there into the cage. And The battery itself is going to fit neatly under there. Now, in one of my earlier videos, I shamelessly said that the battery kept falling out. It's because I hadn't noticed this little clip under here that's used to keep the battery in place. So when it wouldn't come out, or it was coming loose, and I finally realised that this was the main reason why that was happening. I was really relieved, because I was thinking, am I going to have to manufacture something using like cable ties to wrap it all up that's going to totally ruin the look of my rig? But thankfully no. The Tilta battery grip does come with a little metal secure fastener under there, which it's a godsend really on shoots. Okay, there's just a couple more things that I want to add now to my run and gun wedding setup for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K, and one of those things is a matte box. And that setup starts with this little lens fitting. It's threaded for 82mm, so it fits straight onto the 1635. So now that bit's fitted in, we can actually start looking at the matte box itself. So again, this is a Tilta setup. This was £109 from Amazon, link below. You want to make sure that you've got your things all nice and loose, your fittings nice and loose for when you're going to be assembling it. So it just fits onto the end of the rods, slides over onto the fitting of the camera itself, and then just simply tightens up underneath. So as you can see there, that's not complicated at all, and it completes the look of the rig. And as I say, in bright sunlight, it's a real godsend, is that, and I've really benefited from using it. Okay, and that just leaves the additional extras. Now, normally I would mount a monitor onto here. I'd feed it through via HDMI into the side of the camera, but as I'm using it on the Sony that I'm shooting on now, I can't really show you that. But what I can show you is my shotgun mic. It's a little Comica V30 Lite. It's okay at picking up ambient sounds, but to be honest, because you can split the audio in this camera and the inbuilt microphones are pretty good anyway, I haven't relied on it all that much. This was £35 from Amazon. It simply fits into the cold shoe here on the right hand side of the camera. Tighten that up, and then this simple jack just goes straight into the camera there, and there's a microphone slot at the top, plugs in, jobs are good in, and it powers from the camera itself as well. So that's it. That's my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K setup. As you can see, it's lightweight, it's nimble, it's great for run and gun. I've got the option to use this handle at the top, as I mentioned earlier, or use the grip at the side and kind of use the focus wheel on this side at the same time. And there are some things that I'll probably change in the future. For instance, I've just bought myself, just move that a second. I've just bought myself a Flycam Red King. I'm trying to get that thing balanced on there, plus the weight of the stabilizer itself. I'm going to have guns like Schwarzenegger after I'd be done, so I'd probably want to find a simpler way to strip this down if I was going to balance it. But for run and gun shooting, I'm really happy with this, and this is a setup that I'd thoroughly recommend to anyone out there. But as always, I'm open to new ideas, so if you've seen some quirks or some tweaks to this particular rig, or maybe you've gone a different way altogether, I'd love to know about it. I'd love to have a conversation about it. I mean, we're all learning together, right? So just leave a comment below and I will get back to you. So thanks again for watching. For those of you that stuck around all the way through, please like and subscribe, all the usual things, and I'll see you again next time.